Hello and welcome to the lecture. So let's continue with the component events that we are gonna see from the dynamic actions. So as you remember, we have the component events below the framework, and these are events that are specific to Oracle Apex alone. Basically this works like a browser event, but since the Oracle Apex components, like you can see the calendar, the interactive grid and other regions, these are Oracle Apex designed components. We'll just go with the basic interactive side, and we'll create one event now that is for the interactive grid we have in this page. So we'll create a dynamic action. So I'm gonna select this interactive grid change, that is selection change. There are various changes, so I'm just using selection change. This is very popular event in interactive grid. Whenever you are trying to have a selection, you can do anything. You can either disable a button or some other ways you can do it. So that's the thing. So we will come back here and we'll use the selection type as region, and with the stores, that is the interactive grid, and let's rename this to IG selection change. And now if you can see, we'll just write the JavaScript here, and before that writing a thing, we'll just put a console.log. that it will be very useful to start learning this event with starting with this dot data, which is gonna be printing there. So I will just save it now, and we'll see what it is printing when I'm selecting a row. So I'm opening the console here, so I'm clearing this. So now the first row is selected. If I try to select one more row, which is the first and the third, you can see that we are getting the console which we have been logging that. So this is the one that returns from the this.data, and that returns two objects, that is the model and the selected records. So model is the one that has a lot of objects under it, and these things are very useful to customize our interactive grid to the way we want on the selection change. And this has a lot of information on the grid, like we have the data, the complete data is seen here, and even if we have any changes in the interactive grid, this will be populated in the array, and we can get those changes and the old value as well. So lots of options are there, and we'll see this more in the interactive grid section later on, but we'll focus on this another one, that's the selected records. So as you can see, there are two arrays here. So the first array being the first row information, you can see it's also an array of this is the first value here, and then online, and then we have the this physical address which is null, and also some information that is with respect to some row version that's hidden, check some things. And the second one selection we have, that's the CDL, it's ID, name and the address. So that's the one, it's printing the information here. So basically what we want, we can get those values and use our own customization. If you wanna see that if the store ID is 1, we can disable some button, or if you want that physical address is null for this, the first one, then disable the button. So in that case you can handle it, or you can get the count of the event as well. So we'll try one example here. So let's declare a global variable. We will track the selected record count. So let me go to the global variable, and I will declare selected record count, and I will initialize to 0. So if I copy this, I will go to the selection change, and we will try to add this here, because that's a global variable, automatically it will be used here. So I'm just taking the this.data. So whenever I'm selecting the row, this would be added, this will be changed. Selected record, I hope that is the thing is fine. Selected records we have to put. Okay, and this would be an array, so we'll put dot length that returns me the count, I mean the array count. So how many records you have selected? 2 means it will return me 2. So that's the thing. We'll refresh, and now if we try to put our selected record which we have declared there, it is showing me 1 because the 1 row is selected. And if I try to select 2, it will show me 2, so that's getting updated. So this is one case. If you have to track that in some other way, suppose we have this test model, right? So this opens only if there is having a selected record of more than 0, so minimum 1 at least. You can add that. So we have this test model, right? It is having a redirection. We'll make it to dynamic action, and we'll try to add one dynamic action here. So we will add test model click, and we will try to add one execute JavaScript code, and we'll paste that our value. So we'll add one if statement, writing a programming here is greater than 0, or maybe we'll do one thing. We will just try to add this in the server side condition, and so we will try to copy this. So let me come back here, and we will add a server side condition, because you can use that way also, but writing and making use of this client side condition will be more declarative. I'll remove this bracket. So maybe we'll come back and try to navigate to our model URL script here. So we have already written that, right? So we will copy that which we have written on the open model click. That will be the true action, and we will paste the false case here, so alerting the user that you have to select one record. So this way I'm pasting it here, and hope you understand this code. That will be redirecting to our model page using the APEX util.prepare URL, which will be preparing, and will try to redirect to that URL, which is the page we mentioned. So this will be called, and just check the AJAX Callback and model dialog things. You will be understanding this if you are jumping directly to this lecture. And then we will go to this action, and we'll create a false, and this would be an alert message like here, and we'll just alert the user, select one record to proceed, some kind of a thing. This is just an example here, so I'm saving it. So we are gonna refresh this, and so one record is selected, and I'm sure it will open. So it's opening fine. And what about if we didn't select it? So I'm gonna select now. It is showing me that select one record to proceed. So this selection change is now listening that, and we are updating the global variable and making use of that in the other action. So that's how this way we are gonna do our task for the interactive grid in a more functional way. So those things we have seen, right, with the interactive grid. Now it has a lot of other events as well, that is with respect to row initialization. That's very useful, and even can see from here it's about the edit mode here. So if you are gonna be editing the cell and we are in this state, that means the edit is on. That means this is about to be edited, right? So it's like a checkbox, it is toggled on. If you leave it and if you go away and if you unselect it, it's unchecked, means it's not in edited state. So if you are in editing mode, it will be, and if you add row again also, it will be trying to be enabled, that will be checked. So if you want to listen to this edit mode, we have the row initialization. This will be very useful than the selection change when you are trying to get the value of the active cell. Why? Because if you want to get the information which is the selection change, right, Even if we are selecting this, I can get the value, but parallelly the interactive grid, if you are trying to select this row and if you are trying to active, it might get this value as well. We do not know what order it is getting. So to get the active record selection, we have to go with this row initialization. So let us create one interactive grid event here. So that's the row initialization, and that would be a IG row init, and let me select the region to stores, and we will try to get the this dot data as we want to start. So I'm not gonna show with an example here, just to make you understand how can we get the record ID more valuable than the selection change. So what the thing is, so we have enabled the console.log this data. So I'm gonna be editing this, and I'm getting some value this from that line. And previously we got model and the selected records. This time also we have the model object, that is about the interactive grid options. A lot of things are there as usual, and the two things are the record and the record ID. Even though we can get the record things from the selection change, but this is specific to the active record alone. And even the record ID, this is the primary key here. So if I'm gonna focus this, I can see that primary key now it is 5, so because we are in the store ID 5. So with that primary key we have a lot of things we can do, and also we have other event like the interactive grid, like report change. So if you are gonna give a report, maybe I'll just try to alert the user if you are trying to change your report. So you know, if you're interactive grid, I'm sure you would be creating a report, like you'd be adding a filter that maybe store ID is less than or equal to 10. We want to display a report which is having only about 10 records. So this is one report, we can save it. So actions report save as 10 records or something. So I'm gonna save like this. So it's saved, right? So we have two things. One is the default primary report, that is with respect to the initializing one. Now we can see that with the message which we added in the dynamic action, we are able to trigger that. Now if we change again, we'll be getting that same. So this happens whenever we are trying to change the report. And we do have a lot of interactive grid events like the save, interactive grid save. That's also a very useful thing. I'm just using the same name because I'll not be using this. I'll be deleting later on, so I'm just using data saved. So this data saved, I'm gonna refresh. So if I try to save something, maybe I'll go to my primary report and it won't come because I have changed. So I'm just gonna change this, like one more dot in. I'm gonna save here. So you can see that this message appeared. What that does is, once the data is successful, this will be triggering. So that's the thing, once the process is done, this will be called, this dynamic action, not on the click of save. It will be called only if the process is successful, this interactive grid process. So that will be very useful, so that we can show our own message, that or we can do some branching, like opening another page or opening a model. That kind of a thing we can do with this after save. So this is about the component events we have seen, and there are various things, and that's are very semantic to that user. We can see that how the meaning is with respect to the regions. So can explore more on that, and this is about the component events, and the next lecture we'll see about the custom events.